what it is. You know what we talking about. Yeah, yeah. So they got, hold on, let me show you this real quick, man. So Revolt then came up. They got 7, count it, 7 possible joints for reparations, 7 ideas for reparations for Black Americans, foundational Black Americans is what it should say. It shouldn't say Black Americans. See, that's trick bag right off the top. We'll be right back on the Keep It P podcast because they're gonna have to just cut that check. Cash app, selling chimes. I hope you got yours, cause I got mine. I'm talking Payoneer, net spin, Venmo, stash. Too many ways for you to run my cash. Check reparations, 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 check. Yeah, well, if you're talking compensation, it's about that time. Yeah. All yiga dare, and we're back. So they got 7 ideas for Black America's reparations, and they 6 garbage ideas with 1 good one at the end. We're gonna wait to the end and see what they talking about. But let me blow this up a little bit. Boom. And it says, though no amount is enough to account for what Black Americans have faced, here are 7 reparations ideas to ensure that they are rightfully recompensated. Well, there is an amount. No, there is an amount. There is an amount. And we're going to get to that. It says one of the main challenges of reparation is determining how much money to consider appropriate repayment. How much does centuries of disenfranchisement cost? What is the appropriate amount to make up for 400 years of free enslaved labor that built this country? The truth is there's no amount of money, land, education, or resources that could ever account for the atrocities performed against Black people or the pain suffered that they experienced during slavery and Reconstruction, Jim Crow, and beyond. However, Black American descendants of enslaved peoples deserve more than the failed promises of 40 acres and a mule that have proposed in 1865. While the U.S. government cannot turn back time, here are 7 reparation ideas to ensure that African Americans are properly and rightfully compensated. So I don't like how they mixing up African American and descendants of slaves. That's El Trickeroso. I'm just going to let you know, Zo, right now. That's trickery. They're doing that on purpose. They know the grassroots is out here talking about foundational Black Americans up and down the yard. So when they come with this fluff bluff, you already know there's the sham bam with it. But it goes on to say, student loan forgiveness. I reject this because student loan forgiveness is for everybody. It is not just for Black people. It is perpetuating the status quo. If you take away from only Black people, I guess, but that need to be gone anyway. Like, that's a given. Like Terrence Howard just said, we shouldn't even be paying taxes and all of that either. But it says, according to the White House Initiative on Education Excellence for African Americans, Black students are 40% more likely to take out student loan and graduate with almost 25,000 more in debt than their white counterparts. This disparity is one of the major contributors to the racial gap between Black and white Americans. During SWOVIT, student payments were placed on hold through the CARES Act under Donald Trump and Joe Biden administrations in the summer of 2023, just before the student loan repayment pause ended. The Supreme Court rejected President Biden's student loan relief plan, which would have given up to $20,000 of debt relief per borrower. Per the Roosevelt Institute, canceling $50,000 of student debt per borrower would result in a 40% increase in wealth of African Americans. No, it's not. That's a negative, fam. There's no increase from negative. You don't go from negative 50,000 to plus nothing. You just go to zero. So stop that. That's very deceptive. It says, as the conversation surrounds reparations continues, forgiveness, student debt for the descendants of enslaved people would make a significant impact on closing the income equality gap. It would also give African Americans a better opportunity to participate in the economic and generational wealth through home ownership, retirement plans, investment portfolios, and more. We should already be able to do that. The fact that we're not able to do that is where the problem lies. Guess what would solve that? Cutting that check. If you cut that check, we'll pay that off. Housing assistance and home ownership. Now, I bet you they're going to mention that little stupid Evanston, Indiana little joint for the joint. Hold on real quick. What's up, bro? Yeah, I was calling you because you had your thing on and I was going in and I thought you was around. Okay, I'm holding it down and I'm live too, so I'm gonna let you go because I'm busting this down. All right, girls. Um, so housing assistance. I knew they was going to talk about. Um, I know they're going to talk about this Evanston thing, that little funky little $25,000. But it says providing African Americans with grants and down payments, lower interest rates on mortgages, and rental assistance would be a great step in the would be a step in the righting the wrongs of the past. During the Great Depression, President Franklin D. Roosevelt enacted a collection of programs known as the New Deal to help stimulate the economy. On one of those programs included in the National Housing Act, the Homeowners Loan Act, which would prevent foreclosures and provide home buying assistance through a federal housing administration. Listen, guess what would also do that? Money. Guess what I could put down on my house and fix my house and pay off my house or refinance my house with the money? That's what you could do. It goes on to say many black buyers are not offered aid because providing mortgages in predominant African American neighborhoods was restricted. Areas on the map were colored in red because those areas were considered high risk. This practice known as redlining led to segregating houses and a significant increase in home ownership for whites, which further widened the wealth gap. Okay, give me the money then. Look how they, you notice how they always so good at pinpointing exactly what happened and the cause, but never the effect and then the solution. You see, we need the solution. The solution is that bread. All of this pussy willow, ring around the rosy, duck, duck, goose, come with the bread. Next up, I ain't even gonna read that. Here they go again. Free college tuition. Now, I would say that'd be cool for the young black people. I would say that's cool for them. But guess what we could do? Guess what they could do if they had the money? Paid to go to college themselves. Yes, that's what they could do. It says written student burden of debt would not only be a reparative act, but it would also make a bit higher education more accessible. You know what they ain't telling you about higher education? You know what they ain't telling you about all of these peoples with degrees? That ain't none of them going to school for what they got a job for what they went to school for 9 times out of 10. Why? Because you get the piece of paper, but you still got to get hired in said white institution that is looking to bring their white brethren up, or hiring Gustavo, and Gustavo is only concerned about his Latino brethren. Or you got some Jamaican or some Haitian or some African in there, and guess who they bringing in? all Jamaicans, Asians, Haitians, and Africans. Guess where that leave you at? Working at Walmart with associate's degree. Now you driving Uber with a whole doctorate. You know what I'm saying? It goes on to say that the average rate of college tuition and housing is about $20,000 per year for public colleges and more for private universities. The Center for American Progress reports that 69% of Black students drop out of college due to student loan debt. Before the national student loan deferment in 2020, a typical student loan payment for those who were actively paying payments back was between $200 and $299 a month, according to the Federal Reserve. Removing the weight from those payments would not only incentivize students to enroll in universities and graduate, but it may also encourage them to pursue graduate degrees. Guess what they can also decide to do if they had the money? Everything you just said. All right, next up, returning the land. The theft of Black-owned land has gone unnoticed for too long. Nah, we noticed it. We know what's going on. What are you talking about? According to the inequities.org, 90% of 14 million acres of Black-owned land in the 20th century was confiscated in the 21st century. Okay. And I tell y'all this story all the time. St. Paul, Minnesota, the Rondo community was split up by a highway, tore down all the Black businesses. They celebrate every year with a little parade and some drums, right? How they get their houses back? See, this is that fluff bluff. They be saying stuff that because they saying it with the insinuation that people, they're going to go back in the neighborhoods and make the people get out and give their houses up. You can't do that. So what, y'all gonna build new suburbs for Black people? Like y'all built the suburbs for the white people? Gavin Newsom is at the forefront of reparations efforts, like returning historically stolen lands to rightfully owned owners like the Bruce Beach. He ain't at the forefront of nothing. Them folks fought for their land, tooth and nail, and didn't get it for 20 years. He ain't at the forefront of nothing. They've been fighting for that. That happened back in 1924. Shut up. Talking about he at the forefront. The forefront of these. Boy. Anyway, next one up. Maternal health resources. First of all, we already know Black mothers died during childbirth more than any other mother ever. Just address that. Guess what would change if we had the money? You know, we would have our own hospitals with our own Black doctors. Do you know that? Did you know? It says, due to racial discrimination in medicine, Black women are at least 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. This is a crucial issue, which is highlighted in a popular culture when tennis champion Serena Williams almost died from a pulmonary embolism during childbirth. Her claims have shortness of breath were disregarded. 8 months of pregnancy, Olympic sprinter Tori Bowden died after suffering from complications during premature labor. So they try to throw the little stars, Black women in there to make it even more dire and serious. A Black child is a Black child, fam. That's something y'all could change anyway. But guess what? If we had our money, we wouldn't be messing with your little stupid, stinky doctors. We wouldn't be doing that. You see, because we know they killing us. That's why. And then y'all be trying to jump down people's throat when they be trying to have a baby at the crib in the pool. Because y'all can't stamp them and shoot them with the gook and all of that. Now this one chaps my hide. This one, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them always talking about drugs and crime when it come to us. So expunging cannabis-related drug charges. Everybody don't smoke weed. So now you just criminalized and drugified the whole black community. See, y'all gotta dig deep into what they be saying. You can't be surface level thinking. When they say stuff like criminal justice reform and all of that, that's because they criminalizing black people as a whole, man. You should be offended by stuff like this. But anyway, it goes on to say, as more states legalize cannabis use and the industry is becoming more lucrative, nonviolent cannabis-related convictions should be expunged, according to the Business Insider. 70% of top executives from the 14 largest cannabis companies are white. Duh. Y'all lock all the brothers up and then get the white boys a pass. And then they're going to be trying to be like, well, we should just let the black people run it, but they ain't gonna never do it, which we should. Y'all locked us up for it. Why wouldn't we be the first ones in the head of it, run the forefront? Why wouldn't that? Right? Maybe y'all should be taxing them 14 largest cannabis companies for that reparations money. How about that? That's what you could do. Says misdemeanor and felony records means that offenders lose their basic rights like voting, travel, and parenting rights, and social welfare programs. That was disrespectful too. Because they need social welfare programs now, which decreases the opportunity for jobs and self-sustainability, and subsequently increases the likelihood of recidivism, which means going back to jail. Effectively, restorative justice also allows for formerly incarcerated for nonviolent cannabis offenders to participate in business side of the industry. In 2022, New York Mayor Coon Adams, established a cannabis equity program which provides cannabis licenses to those who previously arrested or affected by New York's former drug laws. One of the most significant ways of reparations to work and equity to manifest is to ensure that those who were arrested and served time for cannabis related offenses are compensated. Man, that's all people. That's not black, just specifically black people. Notice how they don't have a problem slipping and sliding all people into our affairs every time. You talk about 6 ways that black Americans, and that's why they had black Americans in the title, because they don't want foundational black Americans, because we know that's the people of slaves, right? Specific people. When you say black Americans, you including Somalians, Nigerians, even the Ecuadorian ones. That I know black, papi. I know black, but I bet you when they talk about giving money to black people, they become black, papi. Oh, I got the black abuela, papi. Oh, I black, papi. I black. They gonna do that as soon as they be talking about black people. But when it's foundational black Americans, oh, y'all a terrorist group. No, it's a lineage. It's just where your people come from. It's a specific group of people that survived the atrocities of the killing fields of the American South. If you didn't go through that, that ain't you. It's real simple. It's real cut and dry. You know? And then, oh, well, would you look at here? It don't say direct cash payouts all the way at the end when you get done with all of that skippity doo dah. It says, as capitalistic society, money talks in the United States. This should have been number 1. Providing reparations through earlier a direct one-time cash payment or monthly installments could create a substantial impact on reducing wealth disparities between black and white Americans. You don't say. Well, then why was you talking about all that other stuff, B? That's what I'm saying. The whole act of this article is playing with you. I don't like that. Get straight to the point, dog. Like you get to the point with them $9,000 rental vouchers. When you get to the point with them Pizza Hut and Walmart gift cards, I know you got to be giving them people at them shelters. Why they all riding around on scooters? Tell me that. Get to the point. It says the U.S. government is no stranger to direct reparative payments. Under Ronald Reagan's administration, the Civil Liberties Act of 1988 was enacted to atone for the racist and unjust imprisonment of Japanese Americans during World War II. Now, you hear what that said? So you can give money for racism. I heard that. That said for racism and unjust imprisonment. Isn't that interesting? Eligible Japanese Americans were paid $20,000 in restitution, which was equivalent to $50,000 back in the day. I did the numbers. And the internment camps was clean, nice. They looked like a little subdivision or something. And you couldn't tell they was suffering. They was all dressed clean and playing baseball and drinking beer, kicking it. Nothing like slavery, but they got paid though. While the amount was not nearly enough, this proves that the U.S. It wasn't enough. Who wrote? Wait a minute. It wasn't enough. Who wrote then? Charlene Masona. I'm smelling tether. Hold on. What does Charlene character look like? Hold on. Let me see what other kind of article she done wrote real quick. Revolt, blah, 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 blah. From Child Star to King. Tether. The inaugural Caribbean Music Awards was full of raised flags and pride. Yup. I'm telling you. I know what I be talking about. I was smelling cheetah pea and rhino jerky and bammy and oxtails. It's a hold on. Let's get back to this money though, because let's get back to this money. I just had to see who's saying this. There's a tether alert right there. We need to see the face anyway. It says similar to what California and Massachusetts have out. Massachusetts gave some cash up. Let me click on that link. It says teens in Massachusetts reportedly held a mock slave auction and made racist threats on Snapchat. Why did it link to that? Revolt, what's that about? What's that about, Revolt? See, they're all over the place. And notice how this is the shortest paragraph of a ball. It's almost over. But it says, similarly to what California and Massachusetts has already done, each state can develop a reparations task force with the help of economists to determine a justifiable cash payment for the descendants of enslaved people. Man, Revolt looking kind of shaky, baby. I'm just saying, y'all style of reporting and all of that. Y'all, it's a lot of footing and a lot of pussyfooting going on here, buddy. Y'all put the cash all the way at the bottom. Did somebody tell y'all to do that? I mean, it's just ironic that cash payments wouldn't be nowhere else up in there, but at the bottom. Who y'all working for, Revolt? Who you working for? Huh? The 6 most garbageous ideas ever for reparations that all could equate it to just cutting the check. That's all you was getting around to. Then they smear and rub in your face. Well, they didn't did it before for the Japanese now. And then they can do it for us too. It's going to be a bit more, but that ain't our problem though. More happened to us. Y'all shouldn't have did it. Cause and effect. You did more. You did more, it's gonna cost you more. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, let me see who all up in here, man. I'll be seeing, you see, y'all be look-a-hooing, y'all be doing all the look-a-hooing, but y'all ain't saying nothing. But it's cool. You might be watching that work. I see about 17, 8. Let me see. Count. Let me count. A lot. How about that? Anyway, I'm not gonna hold you, but I'm emoji fold you and scold you about being on code. And you know that I got 4 words for you. I need you to go ahead and subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike, comment your vomit, share if you care about getting black empowerment everywhere. Please do that on the platforms that we own, Jones. And just to bring it on home, come here, dog. Let me look you in your face, dog. 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 I got 4 words for you, dog. It's love, peace, with the blessings. And I got Maloha. And I'm out the Doha for show high. You already know, dog.